So as I mentioned, if you missed at the beginning, this call is our way of educating you in the best way possible with this video call, going through what the I9 Sports Experience is and what to expect on opening day, right? So the I9 Sports Experience, what do we provide you as a parent, as your athletes show up on game day? What are you getting? And what we are looking to provide is quality instruction that's fun for the kids, but also very convenient for you guys. We try to be as convenient as possible with everything that we do. Obviously, we are not perfect and we can't be 100% in everything. So sometimes we do have the occasional travel league or a round robin program to try to make it the best experience. But we do that alongside all of what we're talking about here, right? What makes us different and what are we trying to do for you, right? So the number one thing that we want most on Saturday and Sunday this week when you guys show up to the venues is for you, for your kids, for the coaches, all to have fun, right? It's the primary reason your kids are playing sports. Typically, it's the primary reason most people sign up for sport. It's to go outside, it's to enjoy the outdoors, meet new friends, and have a blast, right? We want it to be inclusive. We want everybody to feel included. That's why we set our roster limits where we do. We typically try not to have more than double the amount of kids that can be on a field at one time because we want to make sure everybody can play at least half the game, right? We do our best to make that happen for everybody. We want everybody to be included. Everybody should be playing, right? We do that. We talk to our parent coaches about that. Tomorrow, for those that are interested, we have our parent coach Q&A where we are working with our coaches to get them ready for the season. And we'll be going over a lot of the same stuff, the inclusivity, right? The safety. All of our volunteers, all of our staff are background checked. Our staff are not only virtually trained, we train them in person on how to work with teams, how to coach, how to ref, what to do if there's an injury, all of those things, right? We go through all of this stuff to make not only our volunteers, but our staff A1 for you guys, so you know that your kids are safe out there. We provide a plethora of training courses through our mobile coach app for our volunteer coaches, as well as safety courses, right? We're convenient, right? Practice comes right before the game. That's the whole point, right? You have busy schedules. You might not be able to show up on a Tuesday, a Thursday, and a Friday to practice before your game on Saturday. So what we try to do is bunch everything together, make it one great experience where you're getting your practice and your game on the same day, right? We try to be as organized as possible. Our venues are all set up for specific time slots. It all works. As I mentioned, we have 15 total venues. We have 75 plus trained and certified staff that are going to be at our various venues working around there. And all of our venues are set up and assigned in a way that is structured and works the best for the program to put on the best experience for our kids and for you guys. We also provide structured practice plans and game rules for all of our coaches and all of our staff. So when you all show up on Saturday and Sunday, there is a very, very good chance that your parent coach, whoever's in that red shirt, as you see right here, right? Our guy right here in the red shirt coaching these kids up is probably looking at an I9 Sports playbook, is probably going through the I9 Sports practice plan for that week. Our organization cultivates a week 1 through week 6 practice plan for all of our coaches and everybody who's out there on the field. That's why when we call and we ask for volunteers to help out and we say it's as easy as it can be, is because we actually provide play-by-play practice plans with diagrams and videos on how to execute them. We try to take all the guesswork out for our coaches to make sure everybody's getting the best experience, right? And if our staff has to jump in, they've been trained and certified on those practice plans that they can jump in with a parent coach to help make it the best possible experience ever. Lastly, we have 2 big items that we try to make sure we have buttoned up every week, no matter what. One of those is sportsmanship, right? There's a value for each week. Your child's going to come home with a sportsmanship medal at the end of one of the weeks of this season. It's going to mean something. And it's not for scoring 3 goals. It's not for having 5 assists. It's not for making the big save, right? It's going to pertain to one of our sportsmanship values for the season. I'll let you all in on a little secret. I'm not going to give away weeks 2 through 6, but I will give away week 1. Week 1's sportsmanship value every season is enthusiasm, right? It's excitement, it's enthusiasm. That's what we want on week 1. It's opening day. It's exciting for the kids. It's exciting for all you. And we want you to see that when you're out there. So we have a heavy emphasis on the fair play, sportsmanship of our program, right? We do keep score. So if you're in the Pee-wee and up age groups, our super Pee-wees, we don't keep score. So if you're a parent in a 3 and 4 soccer group, we're not keeping score per se. We do keep score out there just to monitor kind of where the scores are. But in our 5 and up divisions, we always keep score. and we always have standings, right? We want to introduce the league format for these kids. So that's where we're at with the sportsmanship and the scores. It's not a real focus for us for the scores. It's more so providing that league environment while also focusing on sportsmanship. Last is the equipment, right? We try to be as convenient as possible. When you show up, right, Linda, you show up on Saturday, your kid's got soccer maybe, all you have to do is bring your kid, right? Your jersey is going to be there. You got to have shin guards. That is one thing you do have to bring for soccer, but we sell them at the venue, right? You could go out and buy, however much they are at Dick's Sporting Goods, but we do sell them at the venue for $10. And really that's just to cover the cost of the shin guards. We want the kids to be safe. We want them to have proper equipment. Other than that, the soccer balls are there. The soccer goals are there. The field tape's up. Our staff is there to help coach if the coaches aren't there, and they're there to ref the game, right? It's just, your child's going to be out there playing soccer. All the equipment's there. All you have to do is make sure he or she has shin guards on, right? We do recommend, if you would like your child to have a practice ball, to bring their own ball to practice, just write their name on it so they don't lose it. The one reason we recommend that, it's not mandated. The one reason we recommend that is because some of the drills that we go over in practice, they can do during the week at home, right? They can go out in the backyard or maybe not kick the ball around the living room, right? But maybe in the garage, right? They do toe taps. Maybe they're working on their dribbling, right? Going back and forth from wall to wall. A lot of what we work on at practice during each weekend can be brought home and done at home. That's why we do recommend, maybe getting a ball for your kid. Doesn't have to be I-9. I'm not saying you got to go buy our merchandise department. You can get a ball from Dick's Sporting Goods. I know there's other places that sell used sports equipment. That was always my go-to as a kid. Really easy to get your hands on a good bat or a glove or a soccer ball that way. So that is the I-9 sports experience, right? We're very much focused on fun, inclusivity, safety, convenience, organization, sportsmanship, and having everything there, including the equipment. That is what we're trying to accomplish, right? Now, the only way we're able to accomplish this is a joint effort, right? It's a joint effort from me on down through our staff, our full-time staff, our part-time staff, executing the vision that we are trying to put out there, right? Because as long as the ones that are out there in the blue I-9 shirts know and are educated and know what they're doing, are able to help drive the culture at the venues. But you all are a part of that as well, right? What makes the programs fun, what makes the programs organized is being there on time or maybe a little bit early, is being loud. Like everybody on this call, I hope that when you're at the venues cheering on the Saturday and Sunday during the games, that you guys are as loud as can be, right? I love showing up to venues and hearing that loudness, right? Because it is a joint effort. You guys drive the culture in bringing on that fun environment, right? That inclusive environment, rooting for everybody on your team, whether they're the best kid or they're really struggling with dribbling because this is their first time ever playing soccer. They don't know. This is their second week doing it. Cheering everybody on drives that, right? So the biggest thing, and the next thing I want to jump into is, I got a little ahead of myself. I was ready to rock into the parent pledge, but I will jump into the parent pledge and then circle back to our overview. So the parent pledge, right? I don't do this to point fingers or anything else like that, because 99% of our parents know the mission, know what we're trying to accomplish. Others just need to be helped educated on what we're looking for, right? You guys can read this as we go. I'm not going to read it out loud. It's on our website, but basically Cliff Notes version is our parents helping to drive the culture of the program, our parents helping to make it the most fun atmosphere for their kids, right? Having that encouragement, that enthusiasm, not only for your own child, as I mentioned, but for everybody else, listening to what the coaches, and again, all of our coaches, if you see somebody out there in a red shirt, they're not paid coaches. They're volunteer coaches that are showing up on Saturday, Sunday, just like you, and they are volunteering their time, and they're either following through on our practice plans or our staff's direction, or they're bringing their own practice plans because they like to coach and they like working with kids. So at the end of the day, our coaches are doing their best. Our staff are doing their best. They're not going to get every call right. And there's one ref to a game. So if they're moving up and down the field, they're trying to catch everything. They might not catch everything. That's also a thing with our parent coaches that we go over, is our staff are human, right? I'll be honest. We start hiring at 16 in high school. This is a great spot for a first job. We have staff all the way up into their 40s, 50s, and 60s. That's just the way it works in youth sports and refereeing. If any of you have kids who are interested in working at I9 Sports, reach out to us at the end. We are always looking to hire new staff for all of our sports. But yeah, we're out there to help drive the culture, and we want you all to be a part of it. And I want you to remember on Saturday and Sunday, I need your help to make these programs great. The excitement, the enthusiasm you guys bring, it's paramount to what we're trying to accomplish. So when you are out there on Saturday and Sunday, I want you cheering with your loudest voices, cheering on the whole team, whether you're the Hawks or Paw Patrol or the Raptors, whatever it might be. I want to hear you guys cheering. So that's kind of the parent pledge. That's driving the bus there. As I mentioned, we'll keep rolling, and I'm going to go over the overview of the season now. Once we get through the overview of the season, we'll jump into a little bit about what to expect on opening day. So our season, it's a 6-week long season. As I mentioned, we do keep score at the league format. Week 1 is a scrimmage. You will see our staff out there keeping score. The reason why we keep score on opening day, just so you guys know, is it's not for the standings. What we are trying to do is assess the teams, right? So many of you signed your kid up. Maybe you are a spouse of somebody who signed them up and you didn't see the form, right? It asked you what level your child was, beginner, intermediate, advanced. That was not so we could place them in a beginner, intermediate, or advanced league. It's so we can have an understanding of your child's understanding of the sport, somewhat of their skill level, just some basic understanding so we can try and balance the teams. So we keep score on opening day to try to balance out the teams. Nobody here wants to watch their child's team lose 12-0. I don't want you to watch your child lose 12-0, right? I want everybody to have competitive games. Sometimes it's going to happen where it gets a little wonky on the score, 4-0. But what we want to do is make sure that all the kids are broken out evenly and whatnot. So we do our best to drive that part of the season, right? So week 1, we don't keep score officially, but we do keep score for that reason. Try to balance the teams out a little bit. It's a 6-week season. Week 1 is opening day. Week 6 is closing day. You don't have a game listed for closing day yet. It says TBD. You will get that game information after week 5. The reason for that, for most of our programs, it's standings based. So we have to get the standings from week 5 to understand what the schedule is going to be on week 6. So typically that Monday after week 5, we will list the program for that coming weekend for championship. Well, not championship, sorry, for the closing day, the trophy day or whatever, trophy and awards, right? Because we do participation medals and we do trophies depending on the age groups and whatnot. So that's your season. Weeks 2 through 5 are technically the regular seasons. Week 1 is opening day scrimmage. Week 6 is that final game of the season based on the standings. Practices and games are held on the same day, weekends only. If you're a Saturday program, your child has a 1 to 2 o'clock time slot every week of the season. You're getting there at 1 o'clock and you're going to be there till 2, practice followed by the game. Make sure to check your schedule. Some of our programs are multi-time slot leagues. That means that we had so many teams in that age group where we had to have 2 time slots. So 9 to 10 and 10 to 11. You might be playing 9 to 10 one week. You might be playing 10 to 11 the next week. Just make sure to check those and check to make sure that your program isn't a travel program. If it is a travel program, you might have 1 or 2 weeks where you're at another venue. Again, those things are done to create a better league experience for your kid. The reason why we do those is so you're not showing up and facing the same team for 6 straight weeks. The kids don't love it, and it never really is sustainable for a long-term league as our organization, because kids don't like playing the same team, which is why we institute a travel for some of our age groups, like senior basketball, where you go from LCDS, Loudoun Country Day School, to Virginia Academy. That helps us have a 4-team league where you're facing a different team each week, and you only have to play the teams maybe twice. Next, let's jump into the weather policy. I mentioned rains in the forecast this week. I'm going to get ahead of it here, and we will see an email this week from me about the weather policy. We do not cancel based on a forecast. I know what the forecast looks like right now. It's thunderstorms on Friday, it's rain on Saturday, and it's thunderstorms on Sunday. For our outdoor venues, we do not cancel based on the forecast. Even if it rained Thursday and Friday, chances are we might not play, but we won't cancel unless it is deemed so by the venue. So we rent all of our space, right? And you see that in the newsletter. We always ask, help us with trash, help us with this, that, or the other, right? If you see something, pick it up. Please remember to get your trash. Like our staff goes back behind everybody to make sure we don't leave trash because we rent from all of our venues. So if we are at a field we want to be the best renter. So we don't want to put the venue in a position where we're going to damage the fields. We don't want your kids to necessarily be stuck in the rain. So we do our best to monitor the forecast. We do play in a light to moderate rain depending on temperature and different things like that. We have various things that we go through when we make these decisions. I am actively monitoring the weather every weekend that we go into a weekend. If there is rain in the forecast, I will be out there at 4 a.m. going field to field on Saturday to check to see how the fields look coming out of the week if there was rain, as well as monitoring the weather going into the weekend. If we have to cancel, there's a process that we follow. We update the weather hotline, which if you are at a Fairfax venue, this is your weather hotline. If you're at a Loudoun venue, that's your weather hotline. I suggest writing it down or save it in your phone. You can quickly call them. One thing that I always tell parents if I do have any questions with weather is it never hurts to just call the number every weekend. Just call it. It's a voice recording. So you're reaching a voice recording when you reach out to it. And it's something that I have loaded up to be obviously heard by everybody. If we end up having to cancel, I will update it and put up a new message. Then I will follow with an email and a text. That's why we always tell you to make sure you're opted into text. So that way you get the information about where your game is that weekend, what practice field you're on, as well as any weather hotline information, because we do have the ability through our franchise manager to send operational texts. Those texts that come from our operation platform always starts with the I9 Sports : and it just tells you what field you're playing at, or if we have a weather hotline message or a message for that day. If we get rained out, we will add a game to the end of the season. We always try to add makeup days at the end. If we run out of room to have makeup days based on the schedule, we will provide credits, but that's not until we get through, I think, like 2 rainouts or something like that, which, knock on wood, hopefully we don't have that this season. So that's kind of the overview, some of the important notes, the weather policy. As I mentioned, I just want to put that out there to everybody. I don't make weather calls from the comfort of my own home. I make them from the front seat of my car up in Leesburg, outside of a field. And I truly do that. I bring my laptop, I'm on the hotspot, and I'm updating from a parking lot out at a field if we do have cancellations. So, and I only say that because I know I've had people before be like, hey, you're probably just sitting at home. You can't even see the field right now. And I'm like, no, I'm actually parked outside the field right now looking at the field, and it's unplayable. So I always am monitoring that. So just rest assured, we try to take our utmost precautions with everything we're doing as far as safety, field conditions, all that stuff for you and your children. Just went over the pledge. Now let's jump into what to expect on opening day. I'm going to get a quick drink of water, just real quick. That way everybody can digest what we've gone over. I'm hitting everybody with a lot of information. Beneficial so far, like quick check-in with everybody. Pretty beneficial, thumbs up. Thumbs down if you're like, I knew all of this. Pretty standard information. I'm getting a lot of thumbs up, which is great, but I'm sure there's some people that have been here and know what we've done before, so they know. But I'm glad I'm seeing a lot of thumbs up because, again, I want this to be a good experience for everybody, and we're trying to move in a way of making this into maybe even moving away from a virtual on-call thing to actual seminar video where it's a bite-sized piece where you guys can watch that through our mobile coach app. So let's jump into what to expect on opening day, right? You guys are all excited. Your kids are all excited. I'm excited, right? Reese is excited. He can't wait to get out there. I think Reese will be out there at 6:30 in the morning. Truth be told, our staff, if you're at an outdoor venue, our staff is usually getting to your venue at 7:30 a.m. to unload trailers and sheds and equipment to get the venue ready for you. At our indoor venues, our staff usually gets there an hour early, like 8 a.m. to get everything set up, get everything rolling. And so that way you guys are ready to come out, have a great weekend. And so I'm going to jump into what you should expect to see this weekend at the venue, right? I always recommend this on opening day. And some people take it the opposite direction and get there way early. Either way is fine. If you are the first session of the day, that 9 a.m. start time, our staff is setting up before then. So it's not like we're worrying about any teams getting out of the gym, anything else like that. But I always recommend show up a few minutes early, right? Just give yourself a few minutes, right? Maybe you're going to a new venue. If you go to Loudoun Country Day School, give yourself a few minutes to show up. Sometimes parking can be a lot. Plot twist for our Loudoun Country Day folk that are on this call, if you've been in our program before. We moved volleyball off of the venue to another venue. So there's a little bit, while we always usually have parking spots, this season we will have a few more to use because our volleyball program is actually playing at Evergreen, which is only like 1.1 miles up the road from LCDS. So always give yourself a few minutes just so you can find parking, because I want you all to be out there too. I don't want just you having like your spouse run your kid up to the field and you miss out on showing up and walking by the red table. Our staff's there greeting everybody, handing out the jersey bags, all that good stuff. Go to your practice area when you get there. You don't have to stop at the I-9 Sports Tent. If I have any parent coaches on this call, hopefully you're at the meeting tomorrow. If you are a parent coach, you do need to stop at the red I-9 Sports Tent or table. If you're at an indoor venue, it's just going to be the table. If you're at an outdoor venue, there's going to be a canopy out there with the table. Coaches, you will stop there and check off on the coach check-in sheet and get your jersey bag and sportsmanship medal or stickers, whatever that might be. But as parents, if you are not coaching, you can take your child and head straight to your practice area. If you are trying to find out where your practice area is for day one, just go to your I-9 Sports portal, look on your schedule. It'll give you your practice area right on there. It might say 1A or 3C or 4D. When you show up, all of our fields have signs around them that either say, if you're at an indoor venue, court 1A, 1B, outdoor venue, it'll say field 1A, field 2B, or 3C. And so you're just looking for that. You can ask one of our staff. They'll be in blue I-9 staff shirts. Very easy to see, says staff on the back in big letters. You can ask them, hey, where's 3D? Where's 2B? They'll easily point you in the right direction, make sure you get where you're going. But head there first. That's where you'll meet your coach, and that's where you'll meet your team. Most importantly, right? That's where all the kids are going to be huddling together. You will receive your practice or your jersey at practice, at your practice area. Also, your jersey is reversible. So make sure that you look at the schedule week one and also every week beyond that to know what color jersey your child should be in. For example, our basketball jerseys are blue and orange, I believe. So you're looking to see if you're blue or orange that week, and you want to make sure your kid is wearing it correctly. That way they don't have to go to the bathroom and change it, and they can just hop on the field, right? Our I-9 Sports staff will be out there kicking off each session with announcements, getting everybody out there before we jump into the first practice. On day one, we try to have our staff help out the teams, right? If you're in an indoor venue, it's a lot easier for our staff to lead those venues because it's an enclosed environment. No more than 4 teams in a gym. 2 to 3 staff out there. It's a tight space. They can be loud and project, and you can hear them. On opening day at Loudoun Country Day School, we got 4 fields going. We got baseball over here. We got soccer over here. We got the tent. We got hundreds of parents walking around. It's very loud. There's a lot going on. So our staff typically try to command their venue, their part of the venue. So staff are assigned to parts of fields or fields themselves. And so they will be welcoming you in. They will be getting everything started. And our parent coaches have been coached and trained up to jump into practice with a warm-up, typically with an icebreaker, then a warm-up, and then the first drill, right? We'll go through each drill for week one, get everybody up to speed. If you got your super peewee toddlers out there to the 3 to 4-year-olds, we're introducing them to soccer. We're introducing them to what a soccer ball is, how to kick the soccer ball around, how to pass, right? And we're trying to work through those drills on day one. Opening day, we always love additional help. So if you are a parent and you're able to help out on opening day, we typically try to have 2 to 3 people out there just to keep everybody together. As you guys know, we are a volunteer-led program, and I'll get to that at the end where we talk a little bit about our coaching specifically. But yeah, if you're able to help and you want to help out on opening day, that would be fantastic. After practice concludes on opening day, we will move to our scrimmage. No score is kept. Typically, your game will take place on the same field you're on. The only caveat to that is some of our venues do have multiple teams beyond, like 3 teams practicing on one field, and you will have to go to another field for that game. Just make sure to look at what field you're going to be on for your game, or court 1, 2, 3, whatever it might be. That way you know if you have to move your stuff over to the other field for the game. It just helps. I like to educate people on that. After the game ends, we'll get into the sportsmanship. I already mentioned this. Enthusiasm is day one. So hopefully some of your kids, some of the kids of the parents on this call will be winning the sportsmanship medal on day one for their enthusiasm and excitement to be out there playing sports on Saturday and Sunday. The coach will hand out the medal. There'll be a little sportsmanship award ceremony, if you will, where the kids will be huddled around and the coach awards a medal or 2 for that week, depending on how many kids are on the roster. Again, it's a 6-week season. Coaches sometimes will hand out 2 a week. So just be prepared for that, because if you have 11 kids on your team because you're in junior soccer, there's not enough weeks to get 1 medal to 1 kid each week. So we have to double up. It will always pertain to the value of that day. So if you parents, feel free to message us at the league office. If your kid wins the sportsmanship medal for scoring 3 goals, that's not what we're trying to accomplish. And we do communicate that with our coaches. Reese is always communicating that with our staff to keep an eye on that. We have the sportsmanship medals for a reason. They're to pertain to that, not just hey, you scored 3 goals. So feel free to reach out with questions throughout the season, especially if this isn't what you're seeing, right? We want this to be the experience you are having. This isn't a meeting for me and Reese to tell you what our hopes and dreams are for the season. This is what we expect to be happening at the venues, and we're trying to execute that. What to expect on opening day. After that, you go home and you get ready for week 2. Hopefully your child's excited about the sport. They have a basketball, soccer ball, maybe a glove at home, and they're just playing catch with themselves or dribbling the soccer ball around, or whatever it might be, where they're excited to come back for week 2. That is our goal. Every week is to make sure the kids are excited to come back that next week. Next, I want to jump into some frequently asked questions. As I mentioned, this isn't per se a Q&A, but we still have some frequently asked questions that we get a lot from parents, and I want to help educate as much as possible to hopefully eliminate any questions that could come up. So merchandise, we've gone into this, the jerseys, right? When you sign up for our program, your jersey is included in your fee. So when you show up to the venue, you can expect to get your I9 Sports jersey. If you are playing T-ball or Coach Biz baseball, you will also get a hat. Outside of that, anything you order through I9 comes through our merchandise department. So if you ordered socks, if you ordered shorts, if you ordered a basketball, if you ordered a soccer ball, that comes from our I9 Sports headquarters, and they handle that separately. What we can do, and I think it's on, is it on there? Who you will reach out to for that is customer service at i9sports.com. Reese, you want to type that in the chat? The customer service email. So you'll reach out to customer service at i9sports.com for any merchandise questions you have, right? If you want to get a refund on something, whatever it might be, that's where you go. The one thing that we take care of is we get you the jersey on opening day. Another question we get sometimes, and we've gone over this today, so you all are apprised of this, and we try to educate everybody on this. This is a volunteer-led program. Our goal, and what Reese is working to do alongside Chris, who is one of our quality control specialists, their goal is to get 2 coaches for every single team. Now, I'm sure some of you have played in our league and you've had 1 coach. And I'm sure some of you played in our league and you ended up not having a coach, and then we had to get a coach after week 1, or our staff stepped in for whatever reason. We have plenty of reasons that we end up losing a coach. Our schedule came out and it conflicts with their schedule. A family tragedy happened. Their child doesn't want to play the sport anymore, and they had to withdraw, or they moved to a different season, or they moved to a different venue. There's a lot of things that impact that, and unfortunately this week we see that from time to time. Our goal is always to try to get 2 coaches at least, if not 2 to 3 per team. The reason for that, now why do we need 2 to 3 coaches when really you just need 1 coach to coach a team? It takes a village to raise a family. It takes a village to run a sports team, right? I played in a team growing up. We had multiple coaches. You had the parent helpers, all that stuff. What we are trying to do is provide that experience and provide the resources to make coaching fun and easy. And having 2 to 3 coaches out there, or helpers, if you will, right? Somebody who can help toss the balls up in volleyball, right? Or another parent who can help corral the kids in a line in soccer. The additional helpers help to make the practice organized, that help to make multiple lines, right? It's a lot easier if we have 3 lines of 4 kids kicking soccer balls, running up, hitting the ball into the goal, and then running to the back of the line instead of 1 long line, right? You guys don't love that when you have 12 kids on the field, 1 coach, and everybody's in the line, 12 kids, and they're going 1 at a time, run up, kick the ball in the goal, go back to the line, right? We want to make it dynamic. So we're always trying to get additional help out there. And with our drills and the additional help, it makes the experience that much better for everybody. As we've mentioned to our parent coaches that are on the call, and as we've mentioned to everybody, our staff is out there as well. They are trained and certified, but we don't have enough staff to assign a single staff person to every single team in our entire program. As I mentioned earlier, how many venues we're running, we have over 350 teams that are competing across all of our venues throughout the days. So that's a lot of teams to oversee. Our staff is still out there to make sure the practices are running well. So they're jumping in, helping coaches. They're jumping in for coaches. They're jumping in to take over for coaches. Whatever it need be, our staff is there to help execute those practice plans. Couple more areas where we have questions that come up. The i9 Sports portal at i9sports.com. You can find everything you need to know on there. Couple important items I want to point out. Besides the practice area and game area, which we talked about already, and the jersey color, there's also snack sign up, right? This is a team at the end of the day. And you might be signing your kid up and you're new to this, right? Maybe you're new to the area. Your child you're new. You don't have friends that you signed up with. You're just trying to get your kid involved in sports. That happens with a lot of our teams. We do get some buddy requests. We do get some team requests. But ultimately, a lot of our program is made up of kids that are coming together as free agents, if you will. They don't know each other. So there is a way to sign up for snack. All you got to do is check the box on the week that you want to do it, and it'll say me. That means you got snack that week. If it doesn't say you or me, it's not your snack week. If you want to do that, great. You don't have to. It's not mandatory by any means. It just helps provide that team camaraderie for the kids. That's why we have that on there. So that way you guys aren't communicating as a team, right? You have to be a volunteer coach. You have to be certified, background check before you can get access to message the team and all that stuff. So sometimes coaches aren't too active on there. That's the way it is. So if you see that and you want to volunteer for that, you're more than welcome to. But everything you need for the season can be found on the i9 Sports portal. All right. The other caveat to that is if you need to reach us, and I'll go over this at the end, but one thing I would say besides the portal, if you need to reach us ever, who here's gotten our league office emails? League office 307, 165. Thumbs up if you've gotten our league office emails saying, hey, thank you for signing up. Hey, your venue's this, or hey, schedules are announced, right? Any of those emails, if you hit reply to those, you're replying to your league office. And I say your league office because we do cover Fair Central and Northern Fairfax. We do cover Loudoun. So those are two of the territories we're managing the season. And so we manage those inboxes. Reese and Brandon are two managers. They oversee those inboxes. So they'll get any question that you have. Feel free to reach out. And all you got to do is reply to that. I will give you the email at the end and our customer service number if you want. Next, sportsmanship medals. Each athlete will get one during the season. Medals are awarded for sportsmanship value of the day. Volunteers and staff will be there to help deliver the message and make sure that it's going the way it should. As I mentioned, that's the goal, right? We're sportsmanship driven. You should see it every week. You should see it from our staff as well. You should see the excitement, the enthusiasm, the respect, everything that we want for the kids. You should see our staff trying to be the model, right? Trying to model that for the kids every day. Last, end of season awards. Flag football is the only caveat to this with the end of season awards. All right. We will have an award ceremony to recap the season week 6 after the games. Coaches will then hand out the awards after that ceremony. We do participation medals for all the 3 to 6 year old age groups. So if you're super peewee or peewee, we do participation medals. The only caveat is flag football because we do grade levels for flag football. We give out medals for trophies for everybody in flag football based on how that program's set up because they started an older age group than the younger kids. Trophies and medals will be given out to anybody in 7 and plus age groups. So that means there's going to be a division winner for any division that has more than 2 teams. We give a division winner, they get trophies at the end of the season. We switched up the way we used to do things. We used to do 5 and 6, but now we're trying to implement a progression, introduce trophies at the 7-year-old age group. There's still a division winner at the 5 to 6, but everybody gets medals. It's more the acknowledgement of a great season's hard work. They won, and that's awesome. But ultimately, winning is not just the goal here, right? It's sportsmanship. It's fun. It's all of what the i9 Sports experience is, and it's beyond just who's the champion of the league. So those are some of the frequently asked questions. I'm sure some of you on this call have additional questions, and we're going to get to how you reach out to us so we can get to that. But before we get there, I want to talk about our coaches real quick, just so you guys understand, right? We also take time to recruit on this call as well. I'm sure some of you have received a text or a phone call about coaching here at i9 Sports. Thumbs up if you've received a text or a phone call or an email about coaching for your child's team, whether it be, we're looking for a coach, the first coach, or we're looking for assistant coach, co-coach, that's going to help with the program or just helping to volunteer, right? Maybe you did sign up as a team, so you didn't hear that, right? It's a volunteer-driven program. We do it every season. We reach out. We try to educate all the parents on what we're looking for to help us try to execute the best season as our staff's out there. If you've considered coaching with us, I highly recommend it. It's a blast. I myself actually coach a team out at not Wolf Trails, at George Mason now, with one of my younger siblings. They play in the program, so I get to coach their team, which is awesome. We love getting parents involved in the program. I want to make it first and foremost out there. This is not a, hey, Deborah, come and coach, and then we get you to sign up. All right, Deborah, go have some fun, and we never talk to you again, right? Reese is here to lead our coaches. He's here to make sure you have all the resources. If you have questions about week one's practice plan, or if you have questions about modifying the practice plan or anything pertaining to the season, Reese is there to answer them, right? We have our league office email. We work directly with our coaches, and we actually have a phone system that we use to communicate with all of our coaches. You've obviously probably received phone calls from it to recruit for coaches. We typically use that line so we can communicate best with the coaches. We provide all the practice plans. We have a mobile coach app where you can access it directly at the field and see what the practice plan for that is, for that week is, what drill number 1 is, what drill number 2 is, what the sportsmanship value is, when to take a water break, and what the third drill is before we jump into the game, right? We also try to make coaching super fun and easy by providing our trained and certified staff that are out there every week. If you do coach and you have questions, or you are nervous or anxious or whatever, don't hesitate to reach out, right? If Reese is out there in his blue shirt, he knows and has been trained and certified on how to jump in with teams and how to help. So, Deborah, I'm not going to pick on you. I just see your name on the screen. So if Coach Deborah's out there, this is her first time coaching, right? She's got little Sally or little Jimmy out there in the Pee Wee soccer program, and she's like, I got roped into this. I don't know what to do. Coach Reese, our staff, is out there in the field. Hey, he should be introducing yourself, to be totally honest with you. I train, and Reese trains all of our staff to introduce themselves to all of our coaches first and foremost. Hey, I need a little help with the practice. What should I do? Right. And like I said, our staff is out there to help. So we are there every step of the way. Our site managers, our site leads, and our staff. Anybody in a blue shirt should be able to help you if you have questions about coaching. That's what we mean when we say our staff is there to assist, and they're trained and certified. They've been trained for these moments to help. It's not just you against the world out there. I know it can be overwhelming at times. And last but not least, I know one thing that we get from coaches sometimes is, busy schedule. Again, we're convenient, right? That's why you signed up for Saturday morning to play, practice, and a game every weekend. We totally get it if you have to travel. We totally understand you might miss a few weeks. It is not disruptive to the program to have a volunteer that misses 3 weeks of the season. I'll be completely honest with you, because the more help we have out there, it allows for, obviously, one, the changing of the guard, but also our staff are out there, right? If we're putting Reese at your field to work soccer, we've already talked to Reese that we anticipate and expect him to be there for the majority of the season. So that way, every time you show up at the field, you should see a common face there. Lily, Reese, and Kendrick should be the 3 faces you see every Saturday at soccer. The only time that changes is if somebody gets sick, they're traveling, or tragedy happens, right? We typically try to keep the same faces, so that way you guys can all feel really secure at the venue. Hey, I know the team here. I know the staff here. They're all awesome. They're fun to work with. They know how to help us best, and they're driving the culture, right? They're and get plugged in with the kids. So that's kind of what coaching is. And if you've considered it, awesome. If you have additional questions, so first and foremost, if you're up for coaching and you want to be another coach on your child's team, whether you have 1, you have 2, maybe you have none, we're still working on solidifying the final coaches. Just because you don't have a coach listed on your team does not mean you just flat out don't have anybody. In order to be assigned to a team, you have to fill out the application and pass the background check. We have coaches that we are still working through background checks. So some teams don't have a listed coach. That's just the way it is right now. They're getting their background checks done. But again, it's just one coach. We want to try to get 2 to 3. So if you are open and available and you want to help, that would be fantastic. Totally up to you. If you want to, you can just go to that link and start by filling out the volunteer application. Or, as I said before, I'll jump to the next slide. You can reach us at these league office emails. The numbers that are attached here are customer service line. Our customer service team typically handles a majority of the things and questions that most parents can have. If they can't answer, they will direct you to us. But you can also ask to speak directly to the league office as well. Reaching out via email is always the easiest like point of contact, because when we come in the morning, we always check our email. In the afternoon, evening, we always check our email. We do have a window of 24 to 48 business hours where we try to get back to everybody. If you are one of the very, very rare few that don't get a response back in 48 business hours, I'm sorry. Sometimes we do have a plethora of emails. For example, when the schedules get released, or when coaches get posted, or an email goes out, right? We get an influx of emails that we're siphoning through and trying to answer everybody with personalized responses. It's not an automated response. So that's why sometimes it does take time. So, but we will try to get back to you. So if you're interested in coaching, feel free to reach out to us at one of those league office. Reese will be monitoring that, where he'll be reaching out to any parents that are interested. But beyond that, now that we've moved beyond the volunteer coach thing, which we do have a parent coach Q&A, if you are interested in that tomorrow as well, you can come and learn more about the coaching experience, where we dive a little bit further into what it means to coach, and how we try to help everybody along. This is just what to expect with I9 Sports. This is a little bit about the experience here. We're pushing, 50 minutes, which is great. Typically, these are like an hour. But yeah, so that's what to expect at I9 Sports in a nutshell.